Welcome back to Growth Catalyst, sir. In our channel, we see three things: productivity, skill upgradation, and turbocharging your career. In this episode, we are going to look at how do you use AI as an assistant, as a coach, as a mentor to study anything, learn anything from the fundamentals to the very advanced level. Absolutely beautifully, absolutely freely. Having AI as a coach, how do you do your studies? How do you upgrade your skills? How do you add more skills to your CV, to your resume? That's what we are going to look at. Let's jump in. You may be still watching thousands of YouTube videos like you're watching this one, but you may not know how do you add the skill. You watch something, let's say you want to learn Filmora, you want to learn Canva, you want to learn Excel, you might want to learn anything. And you may watch YouTube tutorial, you may read a book. At the end of the day, you need to practice. You need to learn. You also need to practice. You need to have a system of doing this. If you don't have a system of doing this, then you won't be able to get the practice right, and therefore it will all be a waste of time. That is where AI comes in. That is where the power of artificial intelligence assisted learning comes in. And the tools are already with you. ChatGPT, the free version, which is what I'm using, can be used. So, using the completely free AI tools, how do you learn anything faster? How do you learn anything 10 times faster? Is what we are going to look at in this episode. So, my promise is this: at the end of this 15-20 minutes video, from a completely confused starter, you will be ending up as a confident creator, confident, skilled person in that skill that you want to acquire. Let me take the example of learning Filmora because that is something that I learned very recently and I'm using that to edit my videos. I have never edited videos before this. I've never learned Filmora before this, but I used AI in this journey to learn Filmora. That is exactly what I'm going to teach you right now. Let's jump in. I call this system E key. You may want to note down E is for envisioning real results. What is it that you want to do at the end of the day? What is it that you want to become skilled at? And how do you envision yourself as a person that you want to be? Real person that you are going to be from the person that you are right now. From no skill or less skill to a completely skilled person. What that person is going to be. That is envisioning. So once you do that, you know from where to where you want to go. The second step is knowing the skill tree. What are the skills required? How do you acquire those skills? What are the steps? What should come first? What should come second? What should be the practice? And how do you go forward? That mapping of skill tree is what knowledge is all about. And that is the second step. The third step is engaging in real daily sprints. So what is it that you want to spend time on? You may not have too much time. You may be working, you may be studying, and therefore you may be able to apply yourself on this particular skill acquisition only, let's say 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. That is all maybe you are able to afford. And within that 10 minutes, within that 20 minutes, you should be able to learn the skill, practice the skill. That is what I mean by engaging in daily sprints. And when you do all of this, you will be able to get the results. The final one is yielding real results every single day, every single week. And you will be able to measure what kind of results that you have got, from where you have moved to where, from where you are moving to where, from where you are moving to where. That is what skill acquisition all about. And that is a framework, scientifically proven framework that I'm going to teach you right now. Let's jump in. Before going further, I think we should also discuss at least a minute about why the traditional learning system, especially when it comes to skill acquisition, fails and fails miserably. It is failing miserably because passive learning doesn't cut ice. You need to learn principles, application, and then you need to apply it. And you need to have a method of quickly applying it. And if you have any doubts, and you will have plenty of doubts, you should be able to go back to principles. You should be able to go back to examples so that you can replicate those examples from those principles and apply them quickly. Understand, okay, this is what I have understood. These are the areas of gaps in my understanding. And how do you fill up those gaps? This should be an iterative process where you are able to understand the fundamentals, apply them, and then understand where the gap in your knowledge acquisition is, fill up those gaps by going back to the fundamentals, and then quickly again apply. And then one, you have applied all this, test yourself, measure yourself that you have learned all this, and then move forward. This feedback loop is what is missing in traditional skill acquisition. This learn, apply, check, and then give feedback, go back to first principle. This loop is what is missing. For example, in all my YouTube, I ensure that you get a complete set of whatever has been discussed in the YouTube. You get a complete set of practice areas, you get a complete set of trackers, because I believe that that is the only way you can learn anything. When you download, and all of these are completely free material, with all my YouTube videos, you can go back and check all my YouTube videos. You should be able to practice it. You should be able to test yourself. You should be able to track your progress. Without that, you are not going to succeed. The success is going to be very, very unlikely. And that is what is missing in the traditional learning system, traditional skill acquisition system. It is not giving you practice. It is not giving you feedback quick enough on those micro areas of practice so that you can come back and learn and then practice and then go back. That is missing. And that is what AI can generate for you. That is why a backed system of skill acquisition is far, 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 far superior compared to any traditional learning system. So let me elaborate on this system of e-keys. And I call this as a e-keys plus two system. I'll come to what the plus two is all about. So what did I start with? I wanted to learn Filmora. I wanted to apply that into editing, and I didn't know editing. I have never created videos, let's say 1 year before, and I wanted to create videos. I wanted to share my experience, share my learning with my community. And that is where I sat and looked at what is it that I wanted to learn. In this instance, I'm calling it as a Filmora editing skill acquisition. You may call it Canva editing skill acquisition. You may call it Excel learning acquisition. You may call it Python learning acquisition. At meta level, all these skills have to be learned, applied, practiced, tested, and then moved on. So in this instance, my experience, I wanted to learn editing, and therefore I envision my success as something like, okay, 30 days down the line, I should be able to create a video, shoot a video, and add music, add effects, and post on YouTube, post on Instagram, a 30-second reel. If I can do that, and if my friends say that, yeah, decent job, then I am successful in learning Filmora. That is the test. Learning Filmora is not editing and keeping it myself. No, I should be able to publicly show what I have edited, and that publicly shown edited video should get a reasonable number of accolades. That is what will tell me, yes, I have learned this skill reasonably well. Okay, that is how I have envisioned success. So that is the first step of the 6-step system, what I call as E keys plus 2 system, E. So envisioning what success looks like. That is what I did. You can do whatever that you want to learn, apply this envisioning, what you want to be, what success will look like, what will tell you that you have learned the skill very, very well. 30 days down the line, 60 days down the line, 90 days down the line, 10 days down the line, whatever that time period that you want to learn that within. Now, once you have envisioned, you go to AI, maybe ChatGPT, which is what I'm using, ask, give it prompt saying that I want to learn, in this case, Filmora, so that I can edit my YouTube video, my Instagram reel completely with effects, with music in 30 days time. Give me a step-by-step blueprint to reach that. I can spend 15 minutes a day. That is what I could spend. Maybe you can spend 20 minutes a day. Maybe you can spend half an hour a day. Maybe you can spend only 10 minutes a day. Whatever that constraint is, give that constraint. I'm a beginner. Maybe you are already familiar with Excel. You can tell AI what your constraint is. Take, factor in these constraints, this background, this familiarity with this skill, and give me a roadmap for next 30 days. Boom, you get the roadmap and you are ready to go to next step. The second step of the E-Keys framework is K, which is know your skill tree. Skill, let's say Excel, in this case, what I'm talking about is Filmora, is not a single skill. It is a bundle of a set of a series of micro skills. What are those micro skills? What comes first? What you should learn next? In the sequence of a logically a little more difficult task, a little more difficult task. That is what you need to learn. Now, Ask AI to give you a step-by-step guidance in terms of the way I gave prompt is I want to learn Filmora, blah, 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 all of that we talked about in the step one. Now, give me the top 10 essential skills which will help me learn editing using Filmora as the tool. What are the 10 essential skills? Break it down step by step in the logical sequence from very simple to a relatively more difficult steps. Boom, you get a complete roadmap of the skill bundles. Learn this, learn this, learn this. Learn how to create and put it onto Filmora. Learn how to sequence it. Learn how to add music. Learn how to add B-rolls. You are ready. You are ready to go. And similarly, it could be applied for Python, it could be applied for Excel, it could be applied for any skill that you want to ever acquire. It gives you a complete roadmap. It takes into consideration your constraints. It takes into consideration what kind of time you want to spend every day. And your roadmap is ready and completely free of cost. This mentoring, this coaching can come completely free of cost. And I'm using ChatGPT free version. You may also do that. The third step in the EK framework is E again. This is simply engaging in the micro sprints that you have put a roadmap of in the previous step. Now you've got the steps. Now is the time to engage it. You may want to give this prompt to AI, which is what I did. Give me a 10 set of exercises on this micro step, 10 skills. The skill tree is given. Let's say in my case, it was 10 sets of different sets of skills. And for each skill, I asked for 5 different exercises every single day, which I can do quickly. I would ask, I want to learn jump cuts. This is one of the skills given in the skill tree. I want to learn jump cuts. So give me a way to learn jump cuts by practicing it on a 10-second video. It will tell me, okay, create a 10-second video, add music, add jump cut, and get the output and see whether you have done a good job. So that is one simple exercise that I will actually do so that I know that I'm able to add music, I'm able to add jump cut, and the result is looking decently well. So you may be also able to do exactly the same. And this is what I called micro sprints. And engaging in these micro sprint is going to be very, very easy, not very difficult at all. And you can do during your coffee break in your office. You can do if you are, let's say, learning Python or Excel or any other skill for that matter. And you have, let's say, 5 minutes gap. You can engage that 5 minute gap in learning the skill. So in the gaps, in the time that you are able to afford during the lunch time, during the coffee breaks, during the tea break, during a break that you want to take, 5 minute, 10 breaks that you are able to take in the office time itself, you will be able to add skill to your repertoire. And that is the power of engaging in micro sprints. Check it out, do it. The fourth step in this E-keys framework, what I call as a 4+2 framework, the fourth step is yield real results every single week. Every single day, I yield real results by doing one micro sprint so that I move towards that goal. Every single week, you create something bigger which adds all of these micro sprints together. For example, week one, I said that I want to post a 30-second Insta reel with a basic ingredient added, which is music added. And I wanted to see whether I'm able to add music and I'm able to add a couple of different ways of cutting the video and see it. The second week, I said that I want to do a vlog, let's say food vlog. Okay, food is prepared. I give a commentary. I'm able to cut it so that it comes seamlessly. I am able to add some background to it. I'm able to add visuals to it and post it. Third week, I want to do again one Instagram video. Fourth week, I want to do a YouTube video. So every week, I add a little more skill set compared to what I did last week, little more different kind of skills, and I create one towards the objective that I've taken. You may be learning Python, you may be learning Excel, you may be learning any of the skills, but when you are learning, every day you will learn something, every day you will be practicing something, but bundle all of that practices that you did during the week and create one mega thing at the end of the week. Maybe on a Saturday, maybe on a Sunday, you spend 30 minutes instead of the usual 10 minutes and create something using all of the thing that you have learned during the week. And you can ask AI, I want to approach like this. I want to create something bigger, which takes into consideration all of the micro skills that I've learned during the week and apply, create something bigger, which is a bundle of all of these micro skills. Give me practice exercises which are bigger in nature, which factors in all of this every single week. So it becomes a 4 week in my case. It could be 6 week, it could be 2 week, whatever that works for you. Bigger sprint, not micro sprint, a little bit of macro sprint for you, where you apply all of those micro sprints, little steps together to create something bigger. Now, when you create something bigger and when you evaluate, when you see whether it is working for you, whether it is making sense for you, then you realize where could be the gaps and what are the things that you need to go back and relearn. There will be a lot of area that you have to go back and relearn. There will be a lot of area that you have not understood properly. When you actually do it, you will be able to understand beautifully well. That's what I did. You can also try it. We completed the E-Keys framework. Now the plus two steps come in. The first of the plus two step is reflecting, quizzing yourself, and learning journaling. It's a very powerful step, so please don't miss it. What I did, I went back to AI and said that, okay, I have learned all of this and I also journaled my struggle. I didn't understand this area. I had to redo twice, thrice to really learn this step. I had to do this. I made it a wrong way, made a wrong cut. I made a wrong editing. It was jumping. It was not seamless. It was very clear that some novice had done this editing. All of this journaling, I fed back into the AI. I asked AI, shared all my struggles with AI, and I asked AI to give me quizzes so that I can understand better. What are the technical points? What are the hacks that people typically use? And can I start thinking about that? Which is slightly different way of looking at the same material, but as somebody else giving you a test, somebody giving you examination, so that you pass yourself and you certify yourself. Yes, yes, I am able to pass it. Try this reflecting, quizzing yourself, journaling step. Don't miss it and give feedback, all of your journaling, all of your struggles, all of your learnings with AI so that it can ask you questions that you can sit and answer on the material, on the skill that you're trying to acquire. The last of the steps in the EKIS plus two framework, the last of the plus two is adapting your learning path with AI. Because you are journaling, because you are noting down all your struggles, all your challenges as you are learning them and feeding AI back with the struggles. Now you are in a position to ask AI, and AI is in a position to help you and guide you on this as a mentor, as a tutor, personal tutor. You can ask AI saying that I have struggled on all of these areas. These were my challenges. Knowing my challenges, knowing my constraints, give me steps for next week. Now you have had a 4 week framework, a 4 week sprint as a pathway for yourself, but you don't have to stick to that pathway. Now, knowing your struggles, knowing you might have learned something better and you are ahead of the 4 week, you might be lagging behind because you have not understood some of the principles, you have not applied some of the principles very well, and therefore 4 weeks is not 4 weeks now. You need to add one more week so that you are truly acquiring that skill. How do you know that? That is where a personal tutor would have helped you. If there is a personal tutor who comes to your home, sits with you every single week and teaches you Python, teaches you Excel, teaches you Filmora, then that person would be able to understand your struggles and tell you, no, Vishy, you have not understood this principle, you have not understood this step properly, you need to go back. Do this so that the next 5 steps are easier for you. That is the role that AI, ChatGPT, any of the AI that you're using can take over if you are feeding your struggles, if you are feeding your challenges, if you are feeding your journaling. When you do all that, it becomes your personal coach. It tells you, okay, we had started with a 4 week framework, but you know what? You are seemingly struggling in these two areas. Practice a little more on these two areas before you go further. It will adapt the path of learning for your circumstances, for your struggles, for your challenges, and drill you deeper so that your skill acquisition is truly good. When you do this, you are able to adapt. When you do this, you are able to find blind spots where you have missed certain practices, and it will add more practices to you. So the prompt, go through all of these challenges that I have journaled and I have shared with you. Now look at whether we need to modify the learning path that we have prepared for ourselves. If yes, give me a modified learning path for next couple of weeks. This the idea of this is to ensure that I learn everything in a very sound manner. I practice everything in a very sound manner and I truly acquire skills. You may also add tests, quizzes, and material which I need to pass so that I can certify myself as a person who has understood this skill very, very clearly, a person who has acquired this skill very, very clearly. When you give this prompt, and all of these prompts have been given in the downloadable material, so you don't have to worry about it. When you do this, you get an enhanced and adapted learning path which is tailored just for you. It's magic, use it magic. I'm going to walk you through what all did I do on my journey of learning Filmora. I used AI in various avatars. I asked AI to become the coach, teach me the principles, practices of Filmora. It taught me, it gave me a pathway of learning it. I asked it to become and pretend as if it is a client. So I asked AI to say that, okay, I'm going to show the video and now you pretend as if you are the client who's looking at my YouTube video where I have prepared it for you and criticize the cuts, the edits which are there. Is it seamless? Is it good? Is the quality good? It did. So I took the assistance of somebody who had actual pro level chat GPT for this because I'm using only the free chat GPT for this. Then I asked chat GPT to give me flashcards so that I remember small tips, small things about Filmora that I might forget. What are the steps? What are the tips and hacks that I should keep in mind? And I also use ChatGPT as a testing material. I asked it to give me and point out some of the videos and where I can join two different videos and look at whether I'm able to really tell myself that I have acquired this skill. You can also use ChatGPT in all of these various avatars as a coach, as a client, as a teacher who guides, as a teacher who tests, as a person who creates flashcards for you. You can use ChatGPT in all of these manner, not only ChatGPT, any AI that you're using in all of these manner. It will be a wonderful tool to enhance your learning and push you in the right pathway of learning. So take whatever skill that you have been wanting to learn. Don't worry about going through tons of videos without guidance. You might want to go through the videos, but with the guidance of AI, which will structure this learning path for you and use AI in all of these different modes. Use the eKeys framework, chart your pathway, envision where you want to go, why you want to go there, and how success will look like when you go there. What are the micro skills that you need to acquire? Create that bundle, create that pathway, test yourself, repeatedly relearn if some principles are not very clear, and adapt your pathway with the help of AI, which would help you to go from a complete novice to a complete master. Wishing you all the very best. We will see in our next episode.